I'm back! Yay! And I'm so happy to be back. It's been a few weeks, let me tell you. And I documented it here. You're about to see. I'm going to release 15 more videos coming right up. So they'll be released on Sunday the 24th. That must be today. I am confused if I release them in the order that I recorded them. I think that would mean that you would see them backwards, because you would see the newest ones that I uploaded first, which would be starting backwards. So if you have any interest in watching them chronologically, scroll down to where I say there's a video with the I think it says something about victory over R.E.B.E.L.ing. That would have been the first, and then it just goes from there. It's been a few weeks, let me tell you. And I'm so glad that I did grab my camera and I did document as I went along, because this would have been way too much to try and remember. And again, I tell you all, this for me is like a live diary, and it just genuinely, it truly helps me process what I'm going through, to have to think through it and then ultimately articulate it. It just helps me process my life. So thank you. My YouTube channel, I say that this is me following both Christ and Bright Line Eating. And that life is a process. Let's process it together. So my name's Emily. I'm a faithful follower of Christ. I'm addicted to sugar, flour, and binging. This is my hello, welcome back video with a couple kind of like my takeaways from these past 3 weeks. How important it is to commit to committing, and how important it is to avoid rebelling, as long as we don't want to rebel against God. Also, 3 quick things, because I just watched my whole video and realized I wanted to include. Another takeaway from these past 3 weeks is I've shot my mom these videos as I've recorded them. And as she's watched them, she's like, "Oh, Emily, you're really addicted." And I'm like, "Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah." Like, my brain is really addicted. And there are times throughout the day, especially on days where I'm not rested, the chemicals in my brain, it is not physical hunger. It has nothing to do, it's not hunger. It is me wanting to change my brain chemistry using the drug that I'm addicted to do it. And to not do that. So cravings, I say, can feel like a fire. And all we have to do to put that fire out is ingest our drug that we're addicted to. It takes a lot of discipline, self-control, but strategy. It takes strategy to not put the fire out and to just let it burn out, or find a healthy way to get dopamine to release. And did you know that dopamine can release, that feel-good chemical can release from things like checking off a check mark? I'm pretty sure I heard that from Susan Pierce Thompson. But there are all kinds of things that we can do that would not be detrimental to our health, or our recovery, our program, our sobriety. There are things that we can do. It is exciting. Your brain will release happy endorphin, dopamine chemicals from going for a quick walk outside, or chatting with a fun, uplifting friend. Have you ever just been down and then the right person calls, or you call the right person, and you find yourself cracking up within like 2 or 3 minutes, and then you're like, what was I so upset about? The chemicals in your brain, it is brain chemistry, shifted, they changed, and our bodies are amazing like that. So putting a puzzle together and getting that final piece, or finding that piece, anything to get your brain, that's why part of my emergency action plan is a 3-step action of anything. It doesn't matter. Get your brain going. So to not turn to our drug in the middle of the day when there's still half the day left and there's still 18 kids to feed and 22 piles of dog poop to pick up, and the sewage line is still not working. And I don't, these are all hypothetical. I'm kidding. This is my life. To not turn to my drug when my eyes are half open and my brain is screaming for it. To not give my body what I gave it for 15 years is a major feat that I am accomplishing one day at a time, one meal at a time, one prepared meal at a time. What a gift I'm giving myself preparing my food. But my mom was like, oh my gosh, she said, I'm watching your videos and I'm really starting to realize that, oh my gosh, my mom just texted 3 little heart emojis. Hi, Mom. About pictures that I sent that I'll add at the end of this. I'm sure she's responding to me sending pictures of my teenage boys eating. Anyways, she just, after watching these videos that I'm about to release, she said, oh my goodness, I'm starting to really understand that you are really addicted. And she's such a cheerleader. And so that's wonderful. So you'll see, and you might be questioning whether or not you're addicted. I kind of saw it coming for myself, and having tried and spent thousands of dollars over the years trying to lose weight. When the weight started falling off, and some people, when they say, I don't know if I'm addicted or not, I'm like, I don't say this, but I'm thinking, try not eating sugar or flour for a week and see. You might have a hard time. It's, this ain't easy. It's no joke. That's why I'm happy to jump in here and have a community of people to do this with. Let's do it together. I have my 3 go-to women that are like my reach out people. I've met other ones of you that now either email or leave comments, and I hope you've been doing well. And I'm so thrilled to hear that some of you have brighter lines because of some of the videos that I've put out. That is so wonderful, and that is a positive feedback loop, because the more you enjoy them, the more I enjoy sharing, and it helps me, and it helps you, and it helps me, and it helps you. It's just wonderful. I'm thrilled that we've connected. So that's what I wanted to share. These past 3 weeks have helped my mom to start to see, and maybe some of you, oh, this is real. This is real. Okay, the second thing is, speaking of dopamine and check marks, when we have a task to accomplish, like a 14-ounce salad with 4 ounces of protein and 1 fat, that's an accomplishment. To get that to happen took steps. So in order to make that meal happen, you had to first have thought of what you're going to eat, which I think is like the hardest part. Like, what am I going to eat? What do I need to buy at the grocery? Which is why I love this program, because these Bright Line Foods, there's your grocery list. But you got to think of it. You got to write it down. Then you got to prepare it. So when you see my pictures later on in this video, I want you to understand that the little bitty black check mark, so I thought it, I wrote it down. After I made it and it's in my refrigerator, I get a little bitty black check mark beside it so that I know that that food is actually in my refrigerator. After I've eaten the meal, then I put a great big purple check mark on it. And my accountability buddy, Diana in California, at night, she gets 2 pictures. One of my purple check marks. That means I actually ate only and exactly what I wrote down to eat the night before, which helps that it's already in my refrigerator. So I told my husband it's actually getting easier to just eat what I already ate than binge, which, like I talk about later, I've sort of set myself up to succeed whether I want to or not. I love it. It's been an interesting thing to experience. I sent her a picture of the purple check marks, meaning I ate that. And then I sent her a picture of the next days that's just written in black. So you'll see that. Also, eggs, scrambled eggs. Yes, my mom was asking me, you can scramble them ahead of time, stick them in your refrigerator and reheat them. However, when you see this picture of eggs, there's also cheese in there. Cheese helps. So I get like 1 egg and 1 ounce of cheese. Or go ahead. This is serious. Go ahead and put 2 ounces of salsa in with your eggs so that when you heat them in the microwave, you're basically steaming them, not cooking them, or you might end up with like little leather nuggets. So there's that. This addiction is so real, and I am so highly motivated, especially with my training in behavior. I'm highly motivated to conquer it with a humble spirit, knowing it's in my weakness that God's strength is shown. And my flesh, if I disengaged from God or from this program, y'all, I would be face first in a pizza, in a Reese's Blizzard medium, because small is too small, but large is just, I mean, that's just too much, right? I would eat 5 mediums before I would get a large. My mom used to have a great grandmother that would never drink a beer, but she would split 12 when she was like in her 90s. I love it. Okay. So, in a heartbeat, this flesh right here, this brain right here, this is all this temporary earthly body I'm in. This temporary earthly body is so addicted to sugar and flour. I promise you that if it were not for the grace of God and this gift that he's given me in Bright Line Eating, I would be on a different path. And I want to stay on this one, headed in this direction. So addiction is very, very real. I wanted to explain my check marks. And again, dopamine. So like right after dinner, I'm like, I want more, because addiction is the disease of greed. Then I'm like, no, you don't get more. You don't get to eat it. You don't get to stick it in your mouth and chew it and swallow it. But you can weigh it and measure it. And you guys, it's amazing. Susan Pierce Thompson talked about that. She said, even if you're not eating it, sometimes you would think that's kind of counterintuitive. You would think, get away from the food. But just looking at it, interacting with it is pleasant for me. And then knowing that I have it ready for the next day, I don't know. And then I just grab my little Perrier water and leave the kitchen knowing that I am set up for the next day. So that's what my check marks are. And then finally, yes, reheat those eggs, but maybe put a little salsa in there so that you're not like cooking them. And if you don't want salsa and you don't want cheese, maybe like a tablespoon of water so that they kind of steam. I don't know. That's my intro. Here's my video. Love you dearly. We'll talk soon. Bye. Okay, well, I'm on day 20 of my 21-day YouTube fast. It's been wonderful, and it's been hectic, and I have had some unexpected stressors that make me think that God knew just what he was doing, having me get off of YouTube for a while, quit staring at my phone other than to make these videos, and process my life. Because like I've mentioned, we had some like sewage stressors and some dog stressors, and our border collie was attacking our baby bottle calves. And anyways, we've had some stressors, but I've also had some like stressors that involved like people, which makes sewage issues seem like fun. So in the midst of all this stress, it has been a miracle that I have had my lines so bright and my program so strong. And I realized, I was laughing with my mom. I said, you all hear me talk about my mom a lot. I love her, and I haven't seen her very much since, this past year. Anyways, whether I want success or I don't, I just feel like, oh my gosh, oops, I set myself up for success. I've got all these little elements of my program, all these little facets, all these little, these habits and behaviors and so much automaticity. Sorry, I gotta prop my arm up. My phone feels like it weighs so much. So much in place. And I am aiming to be more process motivated than product motivated, which is why I'm also taking a break from the scale. But I am looking forward to weighing on February 2nd because I'm getting so close to saying 100 pounds, 100 pound weight loss. So here's kind of a couple takeaways from my past 3 weeks. Then I'm going to add some food prep pictures. That's been a major takeaway for me. In the midst of all of this, in the midst of farming, and here's some farm. You see that? There's some farm. I grew up in the city. I'm married into farm life, and as my family, my boys and my kids get older and farm more, then I am more and more farm wife every day, and more farm life every day. And it's an adjustment. And I, years ago, told a friend of mine, I want more discipline in my life. I had no idea how much I would need more discipline in my life in order to help facilitate and manage and run this operation with my husband. So I am excited to rise and shine in the mornings, and I'm excited to do that sober and not hungover and not trying to meet my needs, where I can be present and serve these around me, taking better care of myself than others, than ever. That was interesting slip. Taking better care of myself than ever. And have habits in place that allow me to accomplish what I wake up and want to accomplish every day. Hi, my name is Emily. I am a faithful follower of Christ, and I'm addicted to sugar, flour, and binging. And like I said, oh my gosh, this brain of mine has told me 100 times in the past week, I know, turn to food, turn to food, turn to food, turn to food. Do it, do it, do it. It will make things better. That's a lie. That is a lie. And fortunately, I made that public pact not to eat sugar and flour alone. I am working with my mom to make my way through a 14-day commitment of our own. I think we're on day 10 or 11. I've got my food prepared ahead of time so that when I hit that wall in the middle of the day or in the evening, and I can barely open my eyes, I do not open my refrigerator and think there's no way I could assemble a 14-ounce salad right now. Hi, Clara. Hi, sweetie. I'm making a video, okay? So having my food prepared ahead of time has been key. I'm going to add pictures at the end of this. I'll also add I'll throw in some before and now pictures. And what are you getting? Something to drink? You can go get a Gatorade out of the back of the Suburban. No, going outside. Or you can get one of those cartons of chocolate milk in the refrigerator. Look up tall, look up real high. So, sorry. Anyways, I've wanted to binge, and I cannot figure out how to justify it. And I just imagine God in heaven elbowing an angel next to him going, watch this. She's starting to realize that she's displaced the drug that she's addicted to in her life. She cannot figure out how or when to turn to it. And I just sort of imagine him laughing at me because I'm like, but I kind of want to and I can't. It's this strange thing of like having set myself up for success. And don't get me wrong, I'm not naive. I could any day. But with everything that I have in place, I'm building momentum, like freight train momentum in the right direction. And this has been a year and a half or a year and 2 months in the making. So it's pretty exciting to feel like it's just all systems go, and I'm headed in the right direction. So let me share quickly 2 other things that that I've stumbled upon, or I've come across, or I've come to realize over these past 3 weeks, and that is we've got to build our commitment muscles. So commit to committing. Commit to something and then stick with it. The very first sermon I ever heard my pastor preach, we go to a Methodist church. It's the one I was a youth minister at for a while. The first sermon I ever heard him preach was that commitment means that you're going to do it even when you don't want to. And I was like, oh, interesting. That breaks it down so simply. So let me encourage you to commit to committing, whatever that may be. And for you, wherever you are on your journey, it might be just committing to have a bright lunch every day. Or it might be to committing to just, drinking 24 ounces of water every day. Something for a certain period of time, and then stick to it. Actually fulfill that commitment so that you build integrity within yourself, and you build confidence, and you build that muscle, that commitment muscle. So then you can layer commitment on top of commitment. I feel more committed than ever right now because I've got all these different pieces of the puzzle working together. The other thing is, if you find yourself not committing, if you find yourself saying you're going to do it and then you don't, there's a couple things going on there. It might just be habit. It might just be human nature. It might just be some bad habits that you have. It might just be that you sort of have a habit of like good intentions where you're going to make a commitment and then you don't follow through. But it might be a rebellious nature that I can totally relate to, because I don't like people telling me what to do. And I am obedient to Christ, and I'm obedient to my husband. Imagine saying that in 2021. I trust my husband with my life, and I trust him with my days, and I trust him to be the head of this household. So, and that's not a role I want. Having said that, I respect authority is what I'm trying to say. So if I'm going to rebel against this eating program, I have to ask myself, who am I rebelling against? And I promise you it's not the enemy, because he would love for us to rebel against this program and get tangled up in our addiction and get tangled up in our drug. But if you're rebelling against yourself, what's the point in that? Who are we kidding when we make commitments and then break them and don't stay true to our word? But ultimately, if it's I believe this was prescribed to me from God, this program specifically, after decades of praying about it and decades of trying to lose weight. So for me to rebel against it would ultimately be rebelling against God. That's who we ultimately rebel against. It's like I've been reading Exodus with my Bible reading group that I lead, and when Moses led the Israelites out of Egypt, they complained to him, and he said, who am I that you're complaining to? Like, why are you complaining to me? It's him, So Philippians 2:14, do all things without complaining or arguing. When we complain, we are ultimately complaining to God. So when we rebel, we are ultimately rebelling against God. Like I said, our flesh is typically not going to rebel against orders from the enemy, because he's going to probably tell us things that we actually want to do. So let's think of it like this. Rebel, R-E.B.E.L. We can think of it, rebel, as, you ready? R-E.B.E.L. Resisting eternal blessings and experiencing life. Resisting eternal blessings and experiencing life. And I've experienced so much life in the past 21 days, the good, the bad, and the ugly. But like Paul says, count it all as joy. I really do. My mom says, oh, Emily, you so much, you turn lemons into lemonade. It's truly all lemonade. Romans 8:28, God works out for those, he works all good for those that, all right, I'm going to look that one up so I don't butcher it. Romans 8:28. Romans 8:28. And we know that all things work together for good to those who love God, to those who are called according to his purpose. And we know that all things work together for the good to those who love God, to those who are called according to his purpose. So it's all lemonade. It's all lemonade. The good, the bad, the ugly. If he allows it in our lives, then he's going to allow it to strengthen us and ultimately potentially draw us nearer to him. So lots and lots and lots of life. And when we rebel against him, we are resisting eternal blessings and experiencing life. And John 10:10. Let's see here. Jesus said, the enemy comes to kill, only to kill, steal, and destroy, but I come so that you may have life and have it abundantly. So let's have abundant life. Since I went digging around looking for Romans 8:28, I lost my spot here. Jude 1. To those who are called, sanctified by God the Father, and preserved in Jesus Christ, mercy, peace, and love be multiplied to you. So, there's that. I'm about to release 13 videos, I think, that I've made over these past 2 weeks. I hope if anybody cares to watch any of them, you will see a progression of my program getting stronger and my optimism increasing and my lines getting brighter and the sunshine getting brighter. This has been a interesting few weeks. Again, it seems to me like God had me take a break from things that were consuming a lot of my time. Little did I know I would need to have time to focus on some other stuff. So that's what I've done. Enjoy these pictures of my food prepping. It blows my mind what a difference that's making for me. I am about to feed my little farmers some lunch. I fed them a hot breakfast this morning, and I don't have to worry about meeting my needs because look here. There it is right there. Here's my breakfast for tomorrow. Here's my breakfast for the next day. There's little cups of fruit. That entire shelf right there is, those are my needs met. So I can just get to work. Colossians 3:23, let's work for God and not man. And part of working for God for me is feeding all these little men around here. So I love you guys. Speaking of which, I'm going to go right down the road to a Mennonite grocery store and get what I need to feed them lunch right there at our table. Enjoy the pictures. I love you dearly, and we'll talk soon. Bye.